All right. And my second question, I haven't heard you. I don't think I've heard you address it yet. But what are Toyota's thoughts about what NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports are going to be trying to do with the 24-hour Le Mans? Do you have any concerns about one of your competitors, OEM competitors, getting extra time in testing time with the next gen car, even if it's a modified next gen car?
Yeah, yeah. Very candidly, Daniel, when I heard about that press conference, I was actually at Sebring when that happened. I had zero notice. Um, Candidly, a little bit disappointed as a as a stakeholder and as a partner to NASCAR that neither ourselves nor Ford were alerted to this. And that weekend, within minutes, I had a dialogue with Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell and Jim France and expressed our concerns and expressed our displeasure. Um, the good news is they have all responded, and they hear us, and we have between ourselves and Ford given them some shared thoughts as to if they're going to do this, how it's done in a manner that is reasonably fair. Um, I can, stepping away from it, at 30,000 feet, I'm absolutely a fan of what they're doing. This
Mm-hmm.
has the upside of putting our sport on the map, in putting it in front of an international audience. Um, but I would have preferred it be done in a little bit different way.
I just have a couple of follow-ups, David, on earlier things you were talking about. The first is on your answers to Daniel about Le Mans. When that next-gen Le Mans announcement was made, Denny expressed some misgivings on Twitter about it doesn't matter how different the car would be, like any testing and any sort of development Hendrick could do could benefit their road course program and the Cup Series. And knowing they could put some of their drivers in the lineup and knowing how good Hendrick is in road course races, I'm just wondering, like, do you share some of those concerns that Denny has, and were any of those concerns assuaged by NASCAR?
Denny and I were immediately in touch following that announcement, as Coach and I were in touch. And on the surface, of course, we shared all of those exact same points. I would have much preferred that Jim France take Gary Nelson and his sports car team to Le Mans, um, and run a Chevy. But of course, you need the sex appeal of a a Hendrick Motorsports. I get it, and unfortunately, they are an active competitor in the sport, and they are going to be taking a derivative, some form of a derivative of the car that we race every Sunday to Le Mans, and it's going to require um, arguably hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of testing, thousands of miles of testing, and and it's hard not to say that on some level, they're gonna figure out something. Now, again, yes, NASCAR has done a tremendous amount to assuage the concerns, and it's probably not appropriate to get into detail. We provided them kind of a laundry list of the things that we would like to see. One of the first things that Jim France, made clear of, and the probably the biggest thing in my eyes is, hey, while we're disappointed that on the front end we weren't looped in, just from a partnership standpoint. Okay, setting that aside, from here on out, what's most important is that they're transparent and that we have visibility to every test, every time that track is on, is on the road, that's shared with us, and we will have that visibility and that transparency, because that's what we've been promised, and we will be a party to participate, um, in every test. We will be invited to every test. Jim France has invited us to come to Le Mans. He and his team are working on how best to leverage this and not wrap this around one team or one manufacturer, but make sure it's wrapped around NASCAR. And he would like to have representation from all of his manufacturers there to underscore that message.